Good morning, dear learners. Welcome to teaching learning session. Today we'll discuss about retail communication mix strategy. Right. Communication mix or promotion mix. What is communication mix? Communication mix is nothing but the combination of all tools, techniques, channels, and platforms. Right. These involves the advertising, social sales promotions, public relation, publicity, direct marketing, social media, events, exhibition, website, and the web links. Right? Communication, the name indicates the communication mix or the promotion mix. What is the communication mix? Communication mix is a combination of various tools and techniques, channels and platform to communicate your things to your customer. How will you communicate? How will you tell your customer that we are providing this services, or this our product is available in the market, or we are producing this product, right? So it is important to communicate. Communication plays a very important role everywhere. It plays a very important role, and we care when we add mixed words in this communication, right? Communication is what? Exchange of information between sender and receiver via common media, right? Both understanding and meaning should be same. And mix is, it is a mixture of many tools, techniques, platforms, channels where sender and receiver send and receive messages or exchange messages or the information, right? What is information? Right? However, from that is, it is a tools, it is a combination of tools, techniques, channels, platforms, right? Platform through which you communicate or you deliver your you communicate with your, actually you communicate with your customers or targeted customers, right? And the communication mix involves what? Communication involves advertising, sales promotions, right? Then public relations, direct marketing, social media marketing, email marketing, and various other ways, right? I hope this term is clear. What is communication mix and promotion mix? Communication methods are broadly classified into four categories on the basis of sender and receiver of messages. See, communication is exchange of message or information between sender and receiver. So communication is actually broadly classified into four categories on the basis of what? On the basis of sender and receiver of the messages. First is one to one. One to one communication is what? One to one communication is personalized type of communication when a person or when one individual is targeting an individual customer, when a salesperson is targeting an individual customer, right? That is one to one type of a communication. Example of this is SMS we receive. That is one to one type of a communication, that you are receiving a SMS, another one is might have receiving another SMS, or WhatsApp messages or email or Facebook messages. That is one to one type of a communication, right? In social media, right, because of the artificial intelligence, right, it what that it shows the advertisements as per your perceptions or the likes, right? One to one type of communication, in easier word, when one individual connects with the another individual, that is one to one type of communication. For example, the salesperson, when the salesperson in any of the retail shop attends one of the customers, that is one to one type of a customer, one to one type of a communication, right? For example, you have gone to some shop to purchase a sari, then as per your choices, the salesperson shows you n number of saris and communicates with you, like communicates in what sense? That is, tells you, he will tell you about the material, about the price, and as per choices he will show all the stuff he has, right? That is one to one type of a communication. One to many type of the communication, one to many type of the communication where the message has been delivered to the message, that is known as one to many type of communication. For example, advertisements, one to many type of communication. Pamphlet distributions, one to many type of that is one to many type of communication. Many to one type of communication, many to one type of communication involves one receiver with multiple sender, right? That is the common example are the customer feedback being received by the marketing executive to further refine the services. Many to one type of communication, many to one type of communication, when many gives when many communicates with one of the individual, with one individual, that is one to many type. For in marketing, say many of the customer can send or give the feedback to one salesperson or to one executive or to one manager, that is known as one to many to one type of communication. Communication is both way now. It should be, see, communication is of open type of communication and closed type of communication. Open type of communication is what? Open type of communication is where only sender can send the message, while the that is the audio visual advertisement or the print media advertisement, that is the open type of a communication where sender can only send the message, while the closed type of communication is that communication where sender and receiver both can send and receive the messages, right? This is many to one type of a communication is where many of the customer can give them, they give back the feedback, give them feedback to one of the executive, that is the many to one type of the communication. Then many to many type of the communication, that is the bi-directional flow of communication, right? That is advertisements by the marketer, including the manufacturers, online chat rooms and other public messaging platform are best example of many to many type of uh, communication. Many to many type of communication is what? Many to many type of communication is when many customers can contact many of the executives, that is call centers, right? Customer call centers. Suppose you have purchased something, now you want to talk to the executive, or you want some services for your product, then when you call at the customer call center, there are many executive and anyone can take up your call, right? That is many customer calls to the customer calls to many of the executives, that is many to many type of communication. So on the basis of this, we can divide it into we can divide the communication, or we can classify actually the communication. We can classify the communication, that is one to one type of communication where one individual communicates with another individual, that is one to one individual. Your insurance agent, when your insurance agent is trying to convince you to take up the insurance, that is one to one type of a communication. One to many type of the communication, when when one person communicates with many of the receivers, that is one to many type of the communication. Example is advertisements, right? Then many to one type of the communication, when many individual can communicate with one of the executive or one of the managers, that is one many to one type of communication. Many to many type of communication is what? Many to many is many customer can contact with many of the executives, that is many to many type of communication, right? Promotion mix in marketing literature is commonly replaced by the term integrated marketing communication. The new term for the promotion mix, or new term for the communication mix, is now IMC, integrated marketing communication, right? This Integrated marketing communication is defined as a process of unifying the elements, that is the advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relations, publicity, digital marketing, and other of marketing communication. Means integrated marketing communication means what we have, that is in this integrated marketing mix means the process of unifying the elements of communication, whether it's social media marketing, whether it's sales promotion, whether it's public relation, whether it's direct marketing or any other form of marketing. They are delivering a same type of a message to the target audience or to the target customers, where that is the unifying of all the tools and techniques, so that same type of a message should be communicated to the target customer or the audience. That is known as IMC, that is integrated marketing communication. Elements of communication mix are that traditionally there are five elements of communication mix. First is advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relation, and publicity. Right. Apart from this, nowadays even these those five for these five are the traditional elements of communication. Apart from this, there are another forms of communication, right? That is email marketing, blogs, website, forum, content marketing, social media marketing, mobile marketing, search engine optimization, paid search, AdWords, reputation marketing, and virtual communities, etc. All these are the again the marketing communication, sort of marketing communication, right? Traditional elements of marketing communication in retail management is advertising and is the most common, right? It is the diverse channel and commonly used mode of communication. That is advertising is the most commonly used for mode of communication in retailing. As per AMA, that is American Marketing Association, advertisement is defined as any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, and services by identified sponsor. This is what the advertisement, that any paid form of non-personal, because because who wants to advertise about the product or advertise about the store, they have to pay, right? That is the paid form. So it is the paid form, and it is the non-personal presentation. Non-personal means that is same type of advertisement, right? That is they give the same type of advertisements for all the target audience, right? That it doesn't differ from individual to individual. And this is promotion of ideas, goods, and services by identified sponsor. Identified sponsor means who is paying for that ad is an identified sponsor. So advertisement is one of the actually most common platform or a channel for communication. And advertisement is nothing but the non-paid, non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, services by identified sponsors, right? Again, what is the paid form? Advertisement is always paid for, and hence it becomes a burden on the organization. The money spent on the advertisement is evaluated in terms of increased demands or sales, because first of all you have to pay for the advertisement, and it is an increased burden on the organization. And the money spent on the advertisements is evaluated on what basis? It is evaluated in terms of increased demands or sales. If that advertisement is able to increase the demands or sales, then it could be the profitable. So it is evaluated on the basis of increased demands or the sales. And it is a non-personal form of non-personal message. Non-personal means that advertisements are designed for masses, for mass audience, and not for an individual. Therefore we use the mass media for advertisement, hence omnipresence. Presentation and promotion of products. Advertisements involves presentation and production of product, that is the goods, services, through mass media like television, radio, or newspapers, etc. That is, you are presenting or promoting your product to an identified sponsor. Means advertisements are paid for by an identified sponsor. That means the manufacturer or anyone will have to pay for that advertisement, and that is that person who pays for that advertisement is known as the identified sponsor, right? So advertisements are not without origin, right? And there is always responsible party who would bear the cost. So this is the most important form of the element of the communication, that is the advertisement. Next important element, traditional element of communication is sales promotion. Sales promotion is what? Sales promotion is defined as an element of promotion mix in which business uses the temporary or time bound campaign offer or schemes or incentives in order to generate interest and create a demand and boost the sales. Sales promotion is what? Sales promotion is a time bound campaign, right? Time bound campaign. In this time bound campaign, the company offers the schemes or incentives, right, in order to generate the interest of the target audience or to create the demand and to boost the sales. That is the sales promotion. On the basis of the target audience, there are two types of the sales promotions in retail management. First is intermediary oriented. Intermediary oriented means what? When the sales promotion schemes are designed for motivating the dealers, right? When you are promoting, when you are giving some incentives, offers to the intermediaries, means to the dealers or to the retailers or other intermediaries to boost up the sales. That is when you are offering them more share, right? Or when you are giving them some incentives, right? So that is known as intermediary oriented sales promotion. The commonly used promotion schemes are discount, right? When you are providing them more discount, right? And monetary incentives could be there, or sponsored holidays, travels, club memberships, trade shows, or sales contest, or trade allowances, or training opportunities, product demonstration, etc. All these are intermediaries oriented, right? While when that is the sales promotion. Sales promotion is when you are offering the schemes, incentives to generate interest and to create demands or to boost the sales. It could be of two types. That is the intermediary oriented. That depends on the business, what type of the business it is, right? If there is some intermediaries, right, then the sales promotion schemes are for those, like when you are offering some incentives or promotion or some monetary incentives or discounts or sponsored holidays or trade shows or trainings or say some travels or memberships, right? That is the intermediaries oriented, when you are offering these things to the trader or intermediaries. Then the customer oriented, another type of sales promotion in retailing is customer oriented. The sales promotion commonly used in the retail stores, that is at the point of purchase, are customer oriented, right? That is as buy one get six free, right? Buy one get one free, flat 30% off, flat 50% off on purchase of 10,000 rupees, 20% off, etc. Right? So along with the monetary and the quantitative discount, the platform also provide limited time scheme for cash on delivery, right? Like and EMI plans could be there, free home delivery and bundle purchases, right? Bundle purchases means if you will shop for 10,000 rupees, then 20% off, cash on delivery, right? We will deliver you the product, right? Then you can pay later. Or EMI plans could be there if the someone is planning to purchase something of which is costly, some costly product, right? Then if that brand, or if that retail shop is providing them the EMI options, people prefer to opt the EMI plans or EMI offers. Or free home delivery impacts a lot because we don't have to pay for the deliveries. All these are the customer oriented sales promotions, right? Then the personal selling. Personal selling is defined as face to face selling, in which a person knows a salesperson, known as a salesperson, uses his communication skills and sales abilities to convince the customer to buy the product. That is known as um, personal sellings. What is personal selling? It is one to one type of communication. In this is a face to face type of a selling, right? And this the person, that is the salesperson, uses his or her communication skills and the sales abilities to convince the customer to purchase the product or the services, or to buy the product or the services. For example, this could be, we can use this technique when it is required to convince the customer, or when the convince when it is required that customer should be convinced, like in case of insurance, because customer has to pay on regular basis. That customer might have n number of questions in his or her mind about that insurance scheme, right? So that one to one type of selling is required, so that customer might be able to get the answer of the question, and that salesperson should be able to convince that customer to buy the product or the services, right? So this is personal selling, that is face to face type of a selling, right? There are 7 steps of selling process, this face to face or selling. That is prospecting means this involves identification and research regarding the ideal potential customer. Getting my point? That is, it involves the identification and research regarding the ideal potential customer. Prospects, it is important to find out the prospect, right? To research out the potential customer, who could be the potential customer who might be interested in the product or the services. And the first step is to find out who could be a potential customer, who might be interested in our product or the services. Then preparation and pre-approach, and this is a crucial step which involves preparation of information regarding the product, description, prices, payment schemes, options, competitors rates, and other terms and conditions of sales, right? First of all, identify the prospects. Second is preparation and the pre-sales approach. Pre-sales approach is you should be well trained, well versed with the information related to the product, prices, payments, information related to the competitors, other terms and conditions of sales, right? That is, the salesperson should be well versed with the terms, conditions, and the other information required, right? Then approach. After pre approach or preparation, approach to the customer. In this stage, which involves the actual process of approaching to the prospects and initiating the first personal connection with prospects. This is approach, right? After preparation, approach the customer or approach the prospect, right? And it is the first personal connection with the prospect. Then approaching means what? You can call them and ask the suitable time when they can be available, when you can talk to them or when you can meet them, right? That is the approach, and this is the first personal connection with them. Then the presentation. After approaching, it is important step in selling process that it establishes an understanding of prospects and individual needs and wants. That is the presentation. It is important to understand the individual's needs and wants, and then handling their objections, and understand their needs and wants, and then present your product and present what you want to say, and then handling the objections after presentation, after delivering, after telling them what product or what services are you offering them, and how could it satisfy their needs and wants. If they have any, if that is after presenting yourself, give the opportunity to the customer to raise their concerns if they have any. If they have any questions or objections related to the product, proposal, or price, give them the opportunity so that they could raise it. And this in stage involves patiently handling the objections, queries, and comparisons with the competitors. And then closing, depending on the convincing and persuasive power of the salesperson, this stage makes the sales deals as a success of a process, right? Then that a closing process. After closing, follow up. This is a continuation of relationship built due to successful sales between the buyer and seller. So it is important to follow up. So all these are the 7 steps of the selling process. Selling process is what? That is one to one type of or face to face of selling, right? That it depends on the communication skills and the sales ability to convince a customer, right? And then there are the 7 steps. First is prospecting, second is preparations or pre-approach, right? Third is approach, then fourth is presentation, fifth is handling the object, sixth step is closing, and seventh step is follow up. All these steps are important in personal selling, right? Another mix is the publicity is defined as use of various communication channels, that is public and media outlets, to showcase the product, services, mostly in the form of company news, events, updates. And the basic goals is to attract the attention of the target audience, and even make them aware about the company's corporate social responsibility commitments, new product launches, social interactions, and messages that would ensure the awareness and visibility of the organization. Publicity again plays a very important role. You might have seen big ads of the various companies, right? That is that way of communication. That is a publicity. It's a channel, right? It's a communication channels, right? That is the public and media outlets to showcase their product, their services, right? And it has been done through news or through events or through updates. And the basic goal of publicity is what? To attain the attention, to attract the attention of the target audience, right? And you do it through organizing the events, right? Events like prize distribution events or seminars, or through CSR activities, or through advertisements, like it could be the published media advertisements or audio visual advertisements or audio advertisements, through social interactions, right? Or any that is in any case or in any how, this is to ensure the awareness and visibility of the organization. Once do it to increase the visibility of the organization. There are certain advantages of publicity. That first advantage is it is less expensive than any other marketing efforts, especially when good public relations are maintained with the media. It ensures a space in the news item and the regular media coverage. So advertisement, it is less expensive, and less expensive is when, especially when one has a good relation with the media. The credibility of publicity in forms of new item is much higher than the sponsored advertisements, which are very costly and yet not trusted by the audience, right? And next important advantage is that the credibility of publicity in the form of news item is much higher than the sponsored advertisements. Public opens the new opportunity. Publicity opens a new opportunities for collaborations and partnering, and shows the organic way of showcasing the product. The more exposure the brand gets, the stronger and more recognizable the brand value. So publicity helps in increasing the brand value. With social media and advancement in the information technology, the publicity strategy has improved in terms of reach and scope, even more effective and efficient. And because of the social media, now it is possible to reach to anyone and everywhere. Some of the common type of publicity strategies are: how can you publicize yourself? Through press releases. You might have seen the press releases of the events the organization conducts from time to time. That you might have seen the that is the press release of an event conducted by so and so college, so and so institute, so and so organization, right? And then again, news outlet, right? Through news you can publicize the things. Then by conducting the events, through conduction of the events, one can publicize the one can do the publicity, right? Like you might have seen that various retail outlets conducts the various type of events at the time of Christmas or Diwali, or during the vacations, right? So through events you publicize, right? Experts to experts and influencers nowadays. This is an era of social media, and influencer plays a very important role. You might have seen that the influencers, right, that is in their reels, the influencers advertise about the product or some of the services, or some of the retailers, right? That I have purchased this thing or this product from so and so retailer, right? And the best thing about that retailer says, this is an example, I'm giving you an example how the influencer influences, right? How they publicize, how they helps in publicity, that I have purchased this product from this retailer. And the most important thing about that, and the one important and the most important thing about that retailer is that he has given the 10% off, or the ambience of that retail store is really good. And there was a play zone, or there is a play zone in that retail store. You can leave your kids and you can enjoy the shopping. All these influencers, but through this you can influence or publicize the things. Then the social media plays an important role in the publicity, right? Nowadays social media plays a very important role, right? Social media, that is through Facebook, through Google ads and various type of other ads, right? You can publicize the things. Now strategies, right? That is, now it is important that uh, apart from the communication mix, right, only communication will not work. The other type of strategies one must keep in mind, right? If you want to attract the target audience, and one of that most important strategy is pricing strategy, retail pricing strategy. Communication plays a very important role. That is the communication mix communicates that you are in the market and you are providing this that product or services to them, and how you are better than your competitor. But again, even after the communication, if audience comes to you and if and they compare the prices, right, with others, or if they feel like whether your prices is on the higher side, lower side, or if your prices are okay, right, then only they can make up their mind whether to purchase the product or services or not. So pricing strategy plays a very important role, right? And what is the pricing strategy? It refers to the process of determining the optimal price of the product or services that retailer offers to the customers. What is pricing strategy? At what price would you like to sell off your product, or would you like to give your product to the customer. That is the pricing strategy. At what price you would like to give the product or to sell off your product, that is the pricing strategy. It involves analyzing various factors. You cannot decide price like that. There are various factors which one should consider before deciding the price of the product or the services. There are various factors, right? That is which should be considered, like production cost. It is important that you should understand the production cost. Production cost includes here various variable cost and fixed cost, right? That is what at what cost you are producing the product, right? Like it includes the raw material cost, then the wages of the worker, then the electricity bill, or the rent you are paying for your factory or something. Or even if that is your own place, that is you might have invested in that uh, um, place, right? So all this should be, that is the variable or the fixed cost should be included in the production cost, right? So production cost. Then the competitor pricing. While you are deciding the price of your product, it is important to keep in mind the pricing strategy or the pricing of the competitor's price, right? Then the customer's demand. Then again, it depends the customer's demands. That is whether your product is in demand or not. Then as per the demand of the customer, one can decide the price of the product. And then the important thing is the perceived value of the product or the services. Perceived value plays a very important role, right, in pricing. Perceived value plays a very important role. What is the perceived value of the service of the product, right? And all these set prices that are profitable and competitive. And by considering all these things in your mind, then only set the prices which are both profitable and competitive. Manufacturers suggested retail price. Then there are various strategies through which you can uh, price your product, and one of the strategy is MSRP. MSRP is the manufacturer suggested retail price, right? Retail price, MSP. We say na MSP, that is the MSP is the manufacturer's suggested price. At what price you can sell off that product, and suppose MSP is 10, then you cannot sell that product at 11 rupees, right? You can earn at most 10 rupees on that product. The manufacturer suggested retail price, this is the price that the manufacturer recommends the retailer to sell a product at, based on the cost of production. It includes the marketing cost, it includes the profit margin. MSP serves as the guide for the retailer who may choose to sell the product at a higher or a lower cost. Actually, you cannot, as per the rules, you cannot, a retailer cannot sell up that product at the higher cost, right? So MSP is the maximum uh, selling, that is the manufacturer suggested retail price. Sorry, it's it is manufacturer suggested retail price. That is the manufacturer suggests the retailer to at what price they can sell out the product. MSRP is suggested by the manufacturer. Retailer have the freedom to set their own price on the factors such as the competition, demands, and inventory. Right? In MSRP, right? Manufacturer, retailer have the freedom to, that manufacturer can suggest the price, but retailer have the freedom to set their own price based on the demands or the competition and the inventory of the product. There are certain external influences on retail pricing strategy, and those influences plays a very important role, right? Like Potter model to analyzing these factors for strategic pricing. This can be broadly suggested into four forces, that the customer, supplier, competitors, and government. You might have learned about the Porter 4 Force model in strategic management, right? Porter 4 Force model plays an important role in retail pricing strategy, and this 4 Force model, including 4 forces, and these 4 forces are the external forces like customer, right? Then the supplier, that is the manufacturer, wholesaler, and the other supplier, and the third force is the competitor, and fourth is the government, right? All these 4 forces plays an important role in pricing strategy in determining the price of the product or services. Customer is price. The price sensitivity is based on the various personal, social, or geographical factors that present a major challenge for a retailer with setting the price. So that is various personal factors, social factors, or geographical factor plays a very important role in setting up the price, right? If the target customer is price sensitive, or the segment or the target customer segment is price sensitive, that it is very important that as per the customer you should set the price. Economic oriented, they don't differentiate among various retailer on other factor other than the price, such as store image, service, etc. If their target or audience or the target customer is price sensitive, they would not be able to distinguish your product from the other competitors product on the basis of say store image or services, etc. They would be able to compare the price of your product with the competitors product. So on the basis of price, they would prefer to purchase the product who will offer them the product at the lesser price. This is for the price sensitive customer. Then if the customer is convenience oriented, then accordingly you can set up your price. They are willing to pay higher prices for reduction in shopping effort. Suppose I don't want to go out and I want that product, I am ready to pay the higher prices, right? For without any taking much efforts or load of shopping, then that is convenience oriented customer. Then you can price it accordingly, like various apps, right? They are providing you the convenience that it is not required to go out to purchase out something. Say if you want some vegetables or fruits in hot sunny day, and you don't want to go out, what we do is we just order the things online, and this reduces our shopping efforts, and we know that we are paying a little more than the price of that product available in the market, then at what price that product is available in the market. But again, because it is reducing our shopping efforts, we are happy to pay more. That is convenience oriented. Then another type of customer could be the image oriented customer. If your customer is image oriented customer, and they differentiate between the various stores on the basis of the image and the product they stock, and not on the basis of the prices, they look for the prestige value for their shopping. And if the shopping is shopping is prestige related to the prestige of the customer, and they differentiate the shops on the basis of the image, or the basis of the image of the shop or the stock uh, they have, right? Then and not on the prices. So you can keep the price as per your customer, targeted customer. They, because the image oriented customers look for the prestige value from their shopping, because their shopping is related to the prestige. Then very variety oriented, they prefer retailer who have a wide range and assortment to choose from and charge fair prices. Retailer that would attract such type of customers is the nullis for salis. That is the variety oriented, is when the customer wants a variety, a wide range of variety and assortments, right, to choose from, and they should charges a fair prices. That prices should not be at the higher end or at the lower end, and should have a a wide range of assortment from which they can choose of, and the prices should be fair prices. Example is Nalli. Loyalty oriented is the customer purchases at the familiar places. That is the loyal loyalty oriented. If the customer is loyal for some shops or some places, right? They prefer to purchases from the familiar places where the retailer or staff of the retail outlet recognizes them. They will pay slightly above the average price, or on the contrary, they may look for discounts since they have been loyal to that retailer. So that again depends. Loyalty oriented, that they prefer to purchase from a specific shops or stores, right? They will pay slightly above because of their loyalty, or or contrarily, they may look for some discount because being loyal to that retailer or customer. Key effects examining the price elasticity. Price elasticity is measure of the responsiveness of a demand to change in the price. If the demand changes by more than the price has changed, the good is price elastic. If the demand changes by less than the price, it is price inelastic. So all those were the factors. That customer is one of the factors, but again it is very important that one should understand the price elasticity, right? That price elasticity means what? Price elasticity is a measure of responsiveness of the demand. If there is change in the price, suppose the price has been changed, what is the change in the demand? If the demand changes by more than the price, right? If then the good is price elastic. That the if there is a change in the price, whether it goes down or comes down, whether it goes up or down, right? Price goes up or down. If there is change in the prices, the good there. If there is change in the demand, then the prices, then that product is price elastic. And if demand changes by less than the price, right, then it is price elastic, right? And if there is less change in the demand, and if there is any change in the price, and if there is less change in the demand, then it is price inelastic. Difficult comparison effects. The customer are more sensitive to price when it is to compare competing offerings, right? Because customers are sensitive to price when it is easy to compare the competing offers. Obviously price matters a lot. Then the benefit or the price effect. This defines the relationship between the people's perceptions of the benefit they receive from the product and the price they pay for it. Value perception plays an important role. Benefit or the price effect, this defines the relationship between the people's perceptions of the benefit, what they perceives from those benefit, what benefit will they get from the product or the services, and price they pay for it. Suppose if you are paying 100 rupees for a product, what benefits will you get from that product? It plays a very important role. If it is beneficial for you, you will pay more, and if you feel like that it is of no use to you, that even someone will give you a throwaway prices, then again people think to purchase that benefits or price effect. Then the situation effect plays an important role. Situation effect, the customer sensitivity to price can differ depending on the situations. It could be the economic situation. Suppose the if customer, if economy is doing well and customer is earning well, right? Then the customer may not mind to pay more for the same product, right? Because they have money in their hand. If the economy is not doing well, or if they are not earning well, then they might not purchase that product even if they require it, right? So situation affects the price sensitivity. The next is suppliers. We are discussing about the Porter's four force model in determining the price. We discussed about the first factor, that was the customer, and the second factor is the supplier. Both the retailer and supplier like to have control and want to price according to their own image, goals and objectives, right? So both supplier and retailer can control the price. With the advent of internet, manufacturers are selling their goods directly to the final customers. In case of exclusive distribution network, the retailer carries product of a particular manufacturer only, and the manufacturer is able to exercise a fair large amount of control in this case. Right? See, there are many reasons now because of change in because of the advancement of the digital media, right, or because of the advent of the internet, manufacturer now are now selling off their goods directly to the customer. And in another case, if customer is, if retailer is the exclusive distribution, if the retailer carries the product of a particular manufacturer only, right, then supplier have more control over that retailer. He can dictate, that supplier can dictate the terms and conditions, right. And again, supplier, we can take it in another way, that the supplier, if suppose the if someone is supplying the raw product to the manufacturer and the supplier has increased the price of the raw material, then again the product cost will go up, right. Then again it is important for the manufacturer, because the production cost will go up. Then again it is important to look into the fact that it will impact the price. And suppose vice versa could be there, if the rates or the prices of the raw material goes down, right, then again the production cost will go down, right. Again there will be change in the price. Again it depends whether you want to change the price or not. Supplier plays a very important role. Then again the transportation cost and other thing plays a very important role. Supplier plays a very important role in force model. Then the competitors are the most influential factor in determining the price. Specifically in retailing, the competitors plays a very important role, because people move from, if I am getting the same product or the services at lesser cost, being a customer, I would like to get the benefits at the lower cost. And majority of customer moves from one uh, uh, retailer to another, or to the competitors on the basis of price, right. A perfectly competitive market is most competitive market product, because what is the perfectly competitive perfectly competitive market is most competitive market, because product are homogeneous and information is perfect, because you are offering the product, he is offering the same product, and third one is offering the same product, and if there is a difference in the price, then normally a customer would prefer to buy the product, a homogeneous product, at a lesser cost, right. So product are homogeneous and information is perfect type of information. Everybody is a price taker, where firms earn the normal nominal profit. If firm earns more than that, the absence of barrier to entry into market, then the other firm will enter the market and drive the price level down until they are only normal profits to be made. And a perfectly competitive market is open for all. Anyone can enter into the market, right. And if one is offering a product at the higher cost, and then because of the entrant, a new entrant, right, then they have to bring down the prices. It is easy to enter into this market, a new, and there is a threat of new entrant always, right. Then another type of market is monopoly, right, market. A monopoly is said to exist when the production of goods or services with no close substitute is carried out by a single firm with the market power to decide the price of its output. It decides its price by calculating the quantity of output at which its marginal revenue would equal its marginal cost, then sets whatever price would enable to sell exactly that quantity. Then monopoly, if in the perfectly competitive market, right, it is very important that It is like that the retailer or the manufacturer earns the nominal market, while in the monopoly market is that market where there is no close substitute is carried out by the single firm, that the only a single firm is manufacturing or providing those products or the services. There is no close substitute for the product. Then they have, then that manufacturer or that person or that retailer has then retailer can decide at what price that he or she wants to sell off the product. Then next is oligopoly type of a market, which helps in determination of the pricing. Oligopoly is when few firms dominate a market. They either behave so for forming an alliance or plan informally to prefer a non-price competition. That is oligopoly. Say, for example, oligopoly is that is now Airtel and Jio, right? That is the oligopoly where there are few firms dominate the market, right? That they are offering their services exactly at the same cost, more or less. They are that their recharges, their the services, that is the recharging services, they are offering at more or less at the same cost. They are not competing with each other, right? Yeah, that is, there is a non-price competition between them. They either behave so far by forming an alliance or plan informally to prefer a non-price competition. When they do compare on prices, they may produce as much as charges as little if they were in a market with the perfect competition. Right? Example is cola industry, where there is only two major player, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, or that is when you recharge your phones, mobile phones. There are two major players in Indian market, and their charges are almost equal. Same with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They are not competing on the prices. This is the oligopoly market, right? Then the monopolistic competition lies somewhere between a perfect competition and monopoly. It is also known as the imperfect competition. Here, the fewer firms than in perfectly competitive market, and each can differentiate its product from the rest somewhat, perhaps by advertisement or through small differences in design. As a result, firm can earn more some excess profits, although not as much as pure monopoly, without new entrant being able to reduce prices through competition. So another type of market is monopolistic competition, right? In monopolistic competition, that monopolistic is in between the perfect market and the monopoly. Perfect competition and monopoly, that is in perfect competition, that is it is also known as the imperfect competition, right? Here there are fewer firms than in perfectly competitive markets. There are firms those who are competing but lesser than the perfectly competitive market, and each can differentiate its product from the others product and can earn the excess profit, right? Not as much as in the monopoly market, but again, right, and without a new entrant being able to reduce the prices through competition. Then the fourth factor is the government factor, right? It plays a very important role in deciding the pricing of a product or the services. That legal issues affecting the retail environment can be broadly divided into two. That one that affects the buying of merchandise, such as price discrimination and vertical price fixing, and other fact that affects the customer is horizontal price fixing, predatory pricing, bait and switch tactics. Like price discrimination, this means when one vendor sells the same product of two or more customers at different prices. This is known as the price discrimination. Discrimination can occur between the retailer and the customer, or between the retailers and his vendors. Right? Price discrimination, government, right? That is when the vendor is selling the same product to two or more customer at different prices. It could be between the retailers. Between the retailers, that is, you are selling between the retailer and the customer, that you are selling the product at one price to one and another price to another customer, or between the retailer and his vendor. In USA, the price discrimination between vendor and the retailer is generally illegal, but there are situations where it is acceptable. So there are certain rules regarding to this price discrimination. Then vertical price fixing. It involves agreement to fix prices between the parties at different levels of the same marketing channels. The agreements are usually to set the price at the manufacturer suggest retail price. So pricing either above or below MRP is often the source of conflict. Retailer cannot sell above the MRP. However, it is not permissible under law. So vertical price fixing is at what maximum retail price one can sell of the product, right? Retailer cannot, there is a rule, government has made a rule that one retailer cannot sell the product above than the MRP. So government plays a very important role in pricing. Horizontal price fixing, it involves the agreement between the retailer that are in fixing is always illegal since it suppresses the competition while often raising the cost to the consumer. So horizontal price fixing is even not allowed. Horizontal price fixing is when the competitors make unholy uh, that is they make those unholy alliance where they decide to sell off the sell off the product at the same prices and they will not compete on the prices. That this horizontal price fixing is illegal because it suppresses the competition and it often raises the cost for the customers, right? So that's all for today and we'll continue with this in our next lecture. Till then, namaskar.